Hey Stampers, it's Brandy here, and I am so excited. I have a 10 cards in 20 minutes for you today. Now, for those of you that are familiar with my 10 cards in 20 minutes, you have emailed me and said you absolutely love this series. And if you're one of those, I would love for you to let me know you're here. Leave me a comment and let me know what your favorite 10 cards in 20 minutes is. I love this series. I make lots of multiples cards all the time, whether it's for thank you notes, a ministry, whatever that might be. Maybe it's to gift a friend. Maybe you're going to a dinner party and you want to put together 10 cards pretty quickly. So I love this series. I also like it because it shows you my process, how I think through creating these cards and how I assemble them and put them together. My hope is that it helps you in your craft room as well. So 10 cards in 20 minutes. It is not about how fast I'm going. Let me make sure you understand that. This is really about the process of stamping multiple cards. Now, I'm going to feature the 2025-2027 Stampin' Up! In colors. They're amazing. Many of you may have seen the Secret Sea. Fabulous, by far one of my favorites. And Secrecy is kind of like the new soft black. It's awesome. But we are going to create these wonderful cards and we're going to do them with our in colors. Yeah, so I am super excited to show you exactly how I did this. And I do have a full color tutorial for you as well. So I will definitely show you that and I'll tell you exactly where you can find that. So without further ado, are you guys ready to get some stamping in? I know I am. So here, let me show you the stamp set real quick. We are going to use the elements of text and we're also going to use textured notes. And textured notes does come with a bundle. So you can purchase that as a bundle. And we're going to use a lot of these elements in here. And we're also going to use the splotches on this one. Now, I believe this one's on the last chance list. So make sure if you like it that you make sure and grab that one. Now here I have cut, this is it for product. How cool is that? So this is it for my product. I've got strawberry slush, cloud cover, and then of course I have my piece that I'm going to stamp. So I'm going to go ahead and just set that aside. And I am going to bring in my, some of my stamps and I'm going to bring in my white piece here. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to want is some Darling Duckling. Now here's my Darling Duckling. And we're going to open that up and we're going to take the circular stamp. Now when I do these types of cards, I like to have everything cut and everything ready to go. It just makes it easier. Then you can just like kadonk, stamp and go, right? So I do recommend just get everything ready to go and then you can just kind of stamp away one after the other. So here we go. We're going to add this yellow Darling Duckling. Now, Darling Duckling is not as bright as Daffodil Delight. It does have maybe a little bit of a green hue into it, but it is a fantastic color. I love it, I love it, I love it. And so what I'm doing is I'm actually kind of stamping it a little bit off to the left. You'll see why here momentarily, because I'm going to add some other elements from that stamp set. We could use every single, stamp in that stamp set. I think there might be one sentiment I'm leaving out. All right, there's my 10. So I'm going to put away Darling Duckling and I'm going to bring in Secret Sea. So let's open Secret Sea. And I have this really fabulous, kind of flowery foliage type of image. And on this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink that up. And I want that kind of stamped off to the side. So I'm putting it inside my yellow, my Darling Duckling. And so if you're not familiar with our Stampin' Up! In colors, now these are colors that stick around for 2 years. They're introduced, we introduce a set of 5 colors each year, and those colors stay around for 2 years. And depending on how they sell, they might make it into a color refresh. Stampin' Up! Does color refreshes every 5 to maybe 8 years. And, if it sells really well, then it might make it into the color line. Now, if you like the in colors, make sure you purchase those refills because, you know, those colors will go out after a couple of years. And if you have a favorite, you definitely want to get your stamp pad and get your refill so that you can keep it around for a while. All right, so here we go. This one, I love Secret C. It is definitely one of my favorites for sure. Okay, so there we go. We've got our Secret C done. Now I'm gonna put that one away. I do like to close my stamp pads in between because I feel like, you know, I can get a little sporty and stick my finger in it. So Strawberry Slush is where I'm going next. So Strawberry Slush is gonna have this little, you know, kind of flowery flower here, kind of leaves. And this one I'm going to kind of stamp off kind of to the side. But I am going to bring my stems together here, and I'll show you why here in a minute. Now, if you're stamping this one, these are a, what do I want to say? These are kind of a distinctive stamp, right? So there's highlights, there's lights and darks in this stamp. And so you're going to want to kind of make sure that you don't have your stamp pad's not like super duper juicy. If it is, it might kind of look a little bit more blobby versus how you're intending it to look. If that's the case, take a back of a spoon, push around this ink. If you don't have a plastic spoon or anything like that, just use an acrylic block and just kind of push it around, and it rinses right off your acrylic block. And then you can stamp your flower here and it will work. It'll look great. So that's what I did here. You can probably see it in my stamp pad, this kind of light spot, because I pushed the ink around because I wanted it to have that distinctive look, which is kind of the lights and the darks in that stamp. Okay, so we're going to put Strawberry Slush away. Now we're going to bring in our Timid Tiger. So this one is another fantastic color. I love it. It's a little bit lighter than our pumpkin pie. And so I've got the, let's see, elements of text, my little splotches here. And on this one, I'm actually going to stamp off. And I'm going to stamp this over here kind of to the side. See, it's coming together beautifully already, isn't it? Now, one thing that I have found, and you may have found this too, if you stamp off in the same spot over and over, it actually will deposit some ink there to where it doesn't totally stamp off quite as much. You know, because I don't want it dark on my cardstock, but I want it to show up. So if you stamp kind of in that same spot over and over, after a while, you'll start to be able to kind of not pick up ink from there, but you won't deposit as much ink there. Does that make sense? I know it might not make a whole lot of sense, but I make a lot of multiples, and so I've kind of figured that one out, that'll kind of help me out a little bit right there. Okay, so we have our 10 cards here done. Now what we're going to do is we are going to pull back in our Secret C, and we're going to stamp our banners. Okay, so let me show you. I've got these banner strips here, and you can take them. I usually take at least 3, but you could do, you know, you could do less if it's harder for you to cut, or you could do more. You know, well, I wouldn't probably do more. I would probably stick to 3 at tops. And so to cut my banner, if you have a punch, you can use a square punch, triangle punch. If not, I just slit up the middle, and then I go from each corner right in to that slit. And that's how I'm going to create my banner. Yeah, pretty cool, right? So that's kind of a little trick that I do with my banners. I like to, you know, I like to create them on my own, and I don't worry too much if they're not perfect. Honestly, I just, you know, I think that it kind of gives it some character. It doesn't have to be perfect. Card making is not a perfect science, right? It's about making a card and sending paper hugs and blessings to others. So just have fun with it and don't overthink it, okay? So here we go. I've got a couple more banners here. And honestly, I did not count these. I feel like it's more than 10, but that's okay. If so, well, I'll just save them for later. So here we go. I've got one more to do. And then we're going to stamp our sentiment. All right, so I am dying to know, what is your favorite in color? You guys have to leave it in the comments. Let me know what your favorite in color is. I am stuck between Secret Sea and I think Strawberry Slush. And I think the Strawberry Slush, because I love pink, is probably why I would say Strawberry Slush. But I love the Secret Sea because it's kind of like a new black. I kind of figured that out not long after it came out because I liked how soft it was when I stamped it in, like, my sentiments. So that is one reason I really, really liked it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I thought I had more than 10 here. I sure did. Okay, so now I've got the stamp that says, "You are seriously the best." So this is how I would do this. And actually, now that I've done this, it actually needs to be this direction for, well, hang on. Let me see, where's my card? Yes, right here, because I am stamping the sentiment this direction. So I'm gonna kind of turn it on a little bit of an angle. I generally line it up just like this, make sure my stamp is correct, and then I just pull it down one at a time. "You are seriously the best." And then I just set it over to the side. So that is exactly how I would stamp my sentiments. And I just get them all stamped. The idea is kind of like, you know, stamping one thing and kind of doing them all, right? Kind of an assembly line. And then once you get them all done, well, then you can move on to the next part, right? So here we go. I've got 3 more. And one more. Perfect. And so I think I have 10 there. Hopefully I have 10 there. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh my, you know what? I just have 2 more here. So why don't we just go ahead and stamp them, so that I would rather have 1 extra than not enough. So we'll just go ahead and stamp that extra one. Perfect. Okay, so now in this scenario, what we're going to end up doing is we're going to end up flipping those over and putting some Stampin' Dimensionals behind them. But before I do that, we are going to glue some cardstock together. So here we go. I have Cloud Cover and I have Strawberry Slush here. So I want to remind you guys, if you are looking for the Cloud Cover ink, you're not going to find Cloud Cover ink. And that's because Cloud Cover, you know, Stampin' Up! Had one other color in the past that had a reaction with the stamp pad, the firm foam stamp pad. Well, our Cloud Cover did the same thing, unfortunately. So we weren't able to get it in a stamp pad. However, you can get it in other ways. So you can buy Cloud Cover cardstock, which I love. You can get it in a Stampin' Blend, right? So you can get it in a Stampin' Blend. You can also buy one of our small Stampin' Spots. And the Stampin' Spots, I think they're 1 by 1 inch. And what we have found, what Stampin' Up! Found, is that the ink refill for Cloud Cover is not having a reaction with those small felt pads. So if you really like this color and you would like it with that ink, well, it is available in that way. So you want to definitely get yourself one of the refills. Okay, and then of course we have our Stampin' Write markers, so that's good too. And of course we have, you know, our designer series paper. We have other card kits and things that feature these fabulous colors. So I would have to say I did not think that I would love Cloud Cover, but I do. It is fantastic, and I had no idea how pretty it was going to be when I paired it with Strawberry Slush. Really, really pretty. Holy cow, it's pretty. So I've got about 3 more here to glue, and I'm just adding my liquid adhesive right here behind. So here, I'll show you under the camera. So there we go. And I am going to just add, you know, finish up with my liquid adhesive, and then I'm going to add my stamped image to the top. So how fun is this? Okay, so I'm dying to know, what did you put in the comments for your favorite 10 and 20. I recently did one on the gallery blooms and I loved it so much, and so did y'all. So if you hadn't seen that one, definitely go back and check it out. So much fun. So these are the images that we had stamped earlier, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn these over and I'm going to lay them out. This is exactly how I do it. And I'm going to lay them out just like that. And then I'm going to take my Stampin' Dimensionals here and I'm going to add some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I kind of like to kind of prep it a little bit so I can kind of get in there. And I just start adding them. Now it's fairly, it's a fairly large rectangle or piece. So I am going to add about 6 dimensionals, just like that. So I'm adding my 6 dimensionals to my card. I'm going to pull that off, and then we are going to add our sentiment and do our card base. Yeah. So much fun. Now these in colors also have some fabulous jewels, so I have those here with me too today. So I'm going to add that to my card as well. Now of course I would encourage you, if you don't have these in colors, that is perfectly okay. You could certainly create this card if you have this stamp set, or you have any other type of stamp set that has these different like fun elements. You could do the exact same thing. Okay, so I just thought it would be fun to challenge myself to see if I could use, I'd like to say all 5 colors. So I did use all 5 colors, but I didn't have cloud cover ink. I just had the cardstock. So I definitely had to add the cardstock for sure. Okay, so there we go. I'm just about done with this part of it. It's so funny, I like to use both of my hands when I add Stampin' Dimensionals. So right about here is kind of where I get in here with both of my hands and I just start pulling these backs off. And a lot of times I'll have like a little ramekin or something, and I like to kind of fill up my, my ramekin to see how many dimensionals I can put in there. I go through a lot of these guys. I love them. Sometimes I think I'm addicted to them. They go with me everywhere. I find them everywhere, everywhere. And I know y'all do too, stuck to the cat and to the dog. But pretty cool. Really, really cool. All right, so if you're new to BrandysCards and you are enjoying my 10 cards in 20 minutes, I would love for you to go to BrandysCards.com/blog. And in the navigational bar, you'll find videos. If you click on that, you can go and see all of my 10 cards in 20 minutes. And of course, I do have a playlist on YouTube as well. So you can definitely check that out. How many of you have actually checked out my very first 10 cards in 20 minutes? It had that black and white doily. I get lots of comments still today about how, if people can still find that stamp set. It was called, I think, Happy Day. It was by far one of my favorites. Unfortunately, Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell that anymore, but I have thought about maybe trying to recreate that card, with maybe using some dies or some of our current punches. It was so much fun. Okay, so if you are liking my cards so far, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Be sure to like and subscribe. And leave me a comment and let me know you're here. I'm going to have 10 beautiful cards done, and I would love to send them to someone here in my channel. So definitely leave me a comment, and I will select 10 random comments, and I'd love to send you one of my cards. I love sending my customers my cards, and of course my team, my family, and my friends. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? Sending those paper hugs. Okay, so I'm flipping this over, and what I'm going to do now is I'm adding Stampin' Dimensionals behind my banner. This is something that I enjoy doing, and if you enjoy, you might enjoy this too. I love it. I like to wrap my banner around the back. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So there's 5. I'm trying to count and talk at the same time. That doesn't work very well. It's like trying to chew gum and like walk, right? Talk, walk, all the things. Pat your belly. So there we go. So I am just adding my dimensionals behind here, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to wrap this around. If you're new to BrandysCards, you might like my little technique here, and if not, you've probably seen me do it before, because it is something that I enjoy doing. So I'm going to go ahead and take off my dimensionals. So I'm just kind of pulling those off kind of quickly here. And then I'm going to show you how I'm going to wrap that around my card. And while your banners are already flipped over, you could add a little bit of liquid adhesive right here. It does make it a little easier because it's already flipped over. And I'll show you what, these are kind of, these are actually pretty big. I've done that on purpose. So here we go. So check this out. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to just add our sentiment, and we're going to flip it over, and then we're going to set it down. So we're going to do that to all 10 and just set it right across. I'm just kind of going underneath my stems, and I'm just pushing it to the back and then kind of giving it a good little squeeze and setting it down. And it might be easier for you for camera, and because I have it right in front of me, I don't really have a place to kind of set it down. But if it's not comfortable to hold it and do this, then definitely you can, of course, set it down on your table. I'm really honestly just holding it up so that I don't stick my others here. There we go. I'll kind of bring those down, kind of like that, right? So then you can kind of put it exactly where you want it, give it a good little squeeze, and you're good to go. Here we go. So kind of squeezing it around the back and adding our sentiment. Now this stamp set has got some great sentiments in it, so you might choose something different. You might even stamp the sentiment and punch out, some circles or a fun label punch of some sort. So this is just kind of an idea, right? To kind of get you started and to get your juices flowing. And for those of you, I have to say, we just recently had the Creative 8 retreat. For those of you that joined us, I hope you had a ball and just had so much fun. I know that I did. So thank you so much for your guys' love and support and for joining us for that. So here, let me kind of show you what I've got next. These are my card bases, and I have a thank you here. And I'm just going to go ahead and stamp my thank you in the center. So I'm stamping it right there in the center of my card base, just adding my thank you. I find that since it's already open, it's already flat, that it just is a little bit easier to kind of move through it like this, right? Now, of course, you can decorate the inside as well, or add one of the other sentiments too. So this is just kind of the one that I felt went really well with my card. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to fold all of these card bases. Yep, so I have 10 card bases here. They're already scored. I do like to score my cardstock ahead of time. It does give me that nice crisp fold. So you will, you definitely would love, you'd want to do that. It's quite nice in this process. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue the tops of our image down on top of our card. We'll add some pretty gems and we will be all done. Oh my gosh, I want to know, are you guys going to try this? It is so fun. It's so pretty. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty. So pretty. Now look at that on the white. Yes, love it so much, right? And it was super simple to do. The elements are so pretty. So pretty. I actually did this stamp set in the browns in some neutral colors, and it just turned out lovely. So I'll have to show you that one too. So pretty. So pretty. So remember, if you're enjoying my cards today, please be sure to like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. And if you've already clicked the thumbs up button, that is perfect. And if not, be sure to do so. and leave me a comment. I want to hear who's here with me, what your favorite in colors are, what your favorite 10 cards in 20 minutes has been in the past. And I'd even love to hear your feedback of some projects you might like to see me do here at Brandy's Cards. You know, we have our holiday catalog that I just closed my mailing list. So if you are a customer of Brandy's Cards, you should be on my list to receive the holiday catalog. And if you place an order with me, then you'll also get my card of the month. So really excited about my Happy Mail, my signature Happy Mail package. So if you have gotten that Happy Mail, I have received so many wonderful comments. I'd love for you to leave, you know, in the comments if you've enjoyed getting your Happy Mail and those fun cards. And which one is your favorite? Oh my goodness, the card that I have for you for July is from Silly Safari. And it is so cute. It is kind of a fun fold, if you will. And I think you're going to love it. Oh my gosh. I have put a lot of heart and soul into it. And I just hope that it surprises and delights you and that you enjoy it, that you'll want to make a bunch more. All right, so here we go. I am going to finish up with my last card. And then we're going to add some of our gems. And then this card is all done, okay? And as you can see, you have the thank you on the inside. So to do the gems, here's our in color pearls. All right, so these are our flat pearls. You know, you could put your gems or how many ever gems you would like wherever you would like. But I honestly just liked them right down there at the bottom. And of course you can use, I think honestly, you could probably use any of these colors. I was kind of playing with this and I liked kind of the little orange one over there if I were to do the orange one. And if I were to do the pink one, I still kind of like it down there. So let's see, we also have Daffodil Delight. So I'd probably, Darling Duckling. So I'd probably put Darling Duckling kind of in that yellow spot there. I thought that looked really cool, kind of right in there. And then I've got a few more Secret Sea. And I also encourage you to use these gems on other cards. It doesn't have to have the in colors. A lot of times these gems will kind of pick up the hues of some of the other colors that you can create with. So they can be used on lots of different things. Okay. So those are my 10 cards in 20 minutes. That's right. And I want to send them to y'all. Now, before I go though, I am going to quickly stamp one envelope for you, but you can see all 10 of those cards. And then I actually did 10 before we went on. So I have a bunch here. And so leave me a comment and let me know that you stopped by. I would love, 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 love. And of course, if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to earn your business, answer any questions you have. So please reach out to me, send me an email, and go to BrandysCards.com/contact. And it's there that you can send me your name and your address and that sort of thing. Of course, if you're a customer of Brandy's Cards, I am so grateful for you. And I hope that you're enjoying your Happy Mail and all the videos that I've been sharing. And I just have so much more. I just placed my pre-order for the holiday catalog and I can't hardly wait. I'm so excited to get that and to share some of those fun things with you too. Holiday projects are always the best. So here is your tutorial. It's called Simply Stamped. And I took some, big color pictures, and you have all the sizes and all the dimensions for the card that I just created for you. Now, before I go, I am going to pull in an envelope, and we are going to just quickly stamp this envelope so that I can show you a piece of completed stationery. So to do the envelope, I would honestly do it the exact same way that I did my card. Yeah, totally just do it the exact same way. So that was Darling Duckling. This one is going to be Secret Sea. And I'm just going to stamp that kind of right in there. And then I'm going to move into my Strawberry Slush. And I'm actually doing it in the same order too. I'm kind of building it in the same order, just like that. And then I have a Timid Tiger. And that's going to give you a really nice finished piece of stationery. See, and let me show you how pretty. See, that was really easy, right? And so then you can kind of see how pretty that is finished. And of course, you could also stamp it here on the flap if you wanted to, or stamp a sentiment back there. So that is an option for you as well. Okay, that is my 10 cards in 20 minutes. If you love this series, make sure you go back to my playlist for 10 cards in 20 minutes and have a look. There's lots of fun videos there, and I hope that you enjoy them. I hope that you leave me a comment and let me know that you stopped by. I want to send some of these fantastic cards your way. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And if you're a customer of BrandysCards, watch for that holiday catalog. The Stampin' Up! Holiday catalog, for those of you that are my customers, that catalog will ship mid-August. And you should receive it probably by the 3rd week of August. And it'll go live for ordering September 3rd. So that will be fantastic. There's also going to be another set of online exclusives. They're amazing. And like I said, I just pre-ordered them, so I can't hardly wait to get my hands on them. So those are coming soon as well. So you can watch for those. And of course, Happy Mail will be shipping in the next few days too. So lots of wonderful things to look forward to. Thank you so much for joining me today. Stay in touch, leave me a comment, and make lots of cards. So send cards, create cards, send those paper hugs in the mail. Take care, everyone. Bye now.